Well, hi there. Welcome back to my channel. Oh my goodness, it is a warm one, and it's just going to get warmer throughout the week from what I understand. And, it's kind of funny, being where I'm from, Texas, you would think that this heat would be like, it's not a big deal. I'm used to this. Yeah. There's something called becoming acclimated. I have become acclimated. In other words, I have become assimilated into the English weather. Oh dear. So now, yeah, I get really, really warm. And it is only 6 in the morning. And it's already 16 Celsius. And I should confess, I still have not learned the Celsius. I have not learned it yet, and I am ashamed. I'm sorry. They don't teach us Celsius. They don't teach us any of that. And I do feel like they should. I really do. It would make perfect sense. We would fall in line with and begin to understand and communicate more efficiently with a large number of countries. Instead of, the awkward, I'm in a chat room and somebody asks me how tall I am, and I say, well, I am 5'10". And then I get blank, no replies or, Well, how many centimeters tall are you? I don't know. It is so perplexing. It really is. All right. Well, this show is basically about heat, weather, hot weather. And just, various little things either I can remember about the hot weather I've lived through, or things that I know that have helped me get through the hot weather. One thing that I'm very grateful for is meteorology, because you have an awful lot of these people telling you, okay, over the next 4 days, we are going to be experiencing hotter than usual weather. Well, there you go. Now you know it's potentially going to be hotter than usual weather. So if possible, relegate anything that requires physical exertion to the evening, preferably night, because that, of course, is when it's going to be much cooler. If you can't do that, I'm sorry. I wish you could. But if you cannot, grab yourself a couple of bandanas, and those help keep all the sweat out of your eyes, at the very least. I know that they sell some bandanas that you can chill in the freezer, and I think they have some that they sold to the soldiers out in the war. They were supposed to be very helpful. And if I can ever find the link to that, which I've been looking, I will share with you guys, I promise. But really, ideally, just try not to move too much. If you can get everything working towards the evening, you'll do yourself a great favor. The people in Spain and the warmer climates do have a really good system in place when it comes to taking siestas or naps during the day. Now, that is if you have the ability to sleep when it's warm. I can't sleep when it's warm. I can barely sleep at all. So, for me, it's something that I've observed, and it has a high positive rating. It helps people most. So there you go. Do that if you can. If not, again, just do what you're able to do. When I was growing up, we moved out to West Texas, and out there it's a very dry heat, which is a little different than what you have here. When you live out in West Texas, the humidity level is much, much lower. So rather than when you leave the house, you have that kind of feeling because it's all sticky And the more you move in it, the hotter you're getting. You don't really get that when you are in a dry heat. And it's much nicer because really all you need is water and find some shade. And you can survive dry heat no problem. It's actually not that bad. I can tell you, I think I've already told you about the state park out there. The mountains are gorgeous, and there's a lot of really, really beautiful, kind of desolate places out there that have some really great campgrounds. And I'm sure some of you have those moments where you're like, I've heard a horror movie that started just like that. And you're right, you know, they some of them do, but the crime rate really isn't very high out there. So thus far, last time I checked anyway, which was a couple of years ago, so you should be okay. All right. And it's not very expensive to rent, like, you know, a little plot out there and go camping. So anyway, that's another thing that, you know, I mean, the cactuses and the century plants and, have you ever seen a roadrunner in real life? They're the coolest little creatures. Okay. In the cartoon, you see the roadrunner, when it stops, its little tail goes up. And then when it runs, tail goes straight down. It really does that in real life too. I didn't know that until I saw one of them do it. And so when I was little, it was really, it was exciting, you know? And we also had something called a horned toad, and they look like a little dinosaur, I swear. I thought they were a little dinosaur, honestly, but they have armored plating on their shell, and it's kind of nifty. And the last creature you generally will remember more than anything out in West Texas is a toss-up between the rattlesnake or the coyote. One will not, I mean, neither one of them is looking for a fight, okay? In fact, they would much rather avoid you. However, the one that will defend itself viciously is the rattlesnake. And you've got to be really, really careful of their babies, because the babies, whenever they are feeling threatened, they lack the control of their little poison sac, right? So whenever they bite someone, the poison sac just kind of disperses most or all of their poison. And I have a cat. I'm sorry, I have an itchy nose because of her hair. It's driving me crazy. But most people die really quickly from a baby rattler, their bite. So just be careful. And, you know, it's just a really gorgeous place to live, but just, you know, be sensible and be observant and keep a lookout, you know. Now, out there, we did not have air conditioning. Most people did. In fact, most people in America, that's what they rely on 100% of the time, is a very powerful air conditioner. Most neighborhoods, if you drive through them, you can actually hear the air conditioning units. They're so strong. And they're huge. I mean, they're bigger than a car sometimes. And I couldn't believe that. I mean, if I had to compare them, you have like these little bitty minis, I think, Mini Cooper. It's bigger than a Mini Cooper, some of these air conditioning units. Not all of them, obviously, but quite a few of them in my neighborhood in Texas would have fit one in the inside of them. They were that big. And yeah, but when you don't have air conditioning, and you know, I've lived through that, and where I lived in Texas, it would on average be about up to 48 Celsius with sometimes wind, but it was still freaking hot, you know. And the only thing you can do sometimes in that kind of heat is just drink a lot of water, keep an eye on yourself, and just, you know, do what you can. I don't know why, but I've got this craving for pina colada. I have no idea why. definitely gonna have to keep a lookout for some bananas. Maybe a pineapple too. Probably be really good. I don't know. What do you think? Sophia, you think it'd be good? Yeah. She's right up there. That's Sophia. She's guarding the rainbow, which, by the way, you can go, all have a nice soft seat on any part of the rainbow you want to sit on. You're welcome. And I'm just, I'm really glad to be able to sit and chat with you guys. And yeah. One solution I found is you take a sheet, and you don't have to be a seamstress. Just know how to thread a needle, which isn't hard. Put in a couple of stitches on, like you fold a sheet in half. Put in a couple of loose stitches in the corners of each side. And then you sit inside of it and you put a fan in the front gap. Now, what I would suggest is get someone on the outside to put a peg and like attach the outside of the sheet there. And then when you turn the fan on, you're basically in a big giant windy room. And that actually is a heck of a lot cooler than, not in there. If all else fails, try to fit in the freezer. I've been tempted myself a few times. But yeah, you just do what you can with that. The heat is, I was expecting it to be over tomorrow, and it's telling me now that it's going on for another 4 days. Yay. That's okay. I'm still going to try my very best to bring you a new video every day. Don't know if I can, but I'm going to do my best. I really think that's all you can do, The thing I think I miss the most is when you live out in West Texas, you can see the stars at night. And I mean glaring, beautiful, detailed stars. But where I live, it's just clouds. Lots of clouds. When I was flying in on the airplane coming into England, it was really, really just like layer upon layer upon layer of clouds in different colors, Not like pinks and purples, but, monochromatic layering all the way down. And yeah, by the time I got down there, I really don't often see stars anymore. Do miss those. I really do. Again, thank you for commenting on my last video. I've really enjoyed reading quite a few of your comments. They're all really interesting, and I'm always like learning every time. Every time I learn something new. It's so cool. And somebody finally figured out and actually knew where Holy Lock was. I have been telling people that's where my dad used to be stationed for quite a while, and not many people actually recognize where that is. So yeah, I began to wonder if it was real myself. Because he would tell me that's where he was stationed, but that's all he could ever tell me. Gosh, I loved living near there. It was Scotland, and it's just something about that place was just so beautiful and familiar to me. It was just fantastic. And one day, yeah, I'd love to come back. I really would. Now, I should admit to you guys, you probably will not find me in a pub. I'm not a drinker. I think I might drink like half a beer once a year with a dark, like a salami sandwich, maybe. But I'm not a drinker. I'm really not. I don't know why. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just, like in America, it's not really encouraged to drink. You're not really encouraged. And maybe I grew accustomed to that. I'm not sure. But I know that most everybody I know drinks more than I do. And that doesn't mean a lot. It just means, they're drinking more than I do, which is one drink, basically. And by the way, that heat that I was telling you about in Texas, it lasts around about 9 months out of the year. So for 9 months out of the year, it feels that hot. and it's just, oof, I don't recommend it. I don't. I mean, if you're a sun bunny and you like being in the sun and you like getting a tan and you like being, warm and hot, go for it. Really, really do it. Because you should live where you're happy. You really should. And honestly, when it is warm, my body doesn't hurt as much. And that is telling me that I should probably live somewhere where it's warmer. But I don't want to. I don't like being warm. I really don't like being warm. So I'm not sure what to do about that. I'm really not. So I don't want to drag this out too much longer. I am going to be including an email address at the bottom of this video. And really, what I'd like you to do is, if you're American and you're watching this, or even if you're English and you're watching this, or Scottish or Irish or Welsh, not forgetting you, any kind of medical stories that you have that were, atrocious, that were awful and should not have happened the way they did, I would be more than happy to share them. I can give you credit, or I can just leave it anonymous, but I really would like to start talking about that a little bit too. So yeah. All right. Well, please don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. I am available pretty much all day, and I will respond as soon as I can. Okay. And again, for any like LGBTQ younger people, if you're feeling alone or bullied or anything, this is not a place where you're going to be bullied or treated badly. So if you have any questions, you need somewhere to go, or any advice, I will help you as much as I can. All right. And that's it. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.